This is a story about Norm when he was 5 years old. He is in his first year, and he's in this one-room school that's about a mile away from his house. The kids are either from the Saudi area, over here about 3 miles, or the Protevan area, just 5 miles away. And they have to walk to school. There was no riding a school bus. So they walk to school. Now the problem is there's a big snowstorm that hits. In this snowstorm, we didn't have weather forecasting back in those days. These storms would hit, and sometimes you'd get, a blizzard. And so all of a sudden this blizzard hit. And Norm and all the kids had to get home because it was bad. And so Mrs. Halverson, their teacher, dismissed them all. And there was 2 groups of kids, and some that went one direction and the other kids went the other direction. And so Norm and his family and other members that lived down this road, they had to go together. So this is the story that Norm tells. This is when he's an older man, but he's talking about what happened to him that one night. Here's what it says, and this is Norm talking. There were about 7 of us in a straggling line. So now they're heading through this snow that's probably this deep, and he's just a little boy walking home. As the smallest, I took my proper place in the middle. Children always moved Indian file through deep snow, the biggest boys breaking the trail while the biggest girls stayed in back, watching over the little ones, who fitted themselves between. That order of march was never written down. It just came by instinct, like baby ducks waddling from the nest. And that day, the journey was terrible. We trudged through the swirling whiteness, leaning on the wind, blinded by the sleet and struggling against the clean, waist-deep snow. I was miserable. Icy drafts slipped through my clothes and sliced the skin like a scalpel. It was hard to get a breath. Snow clung to my face, mittens, jacket. The melt inside my boots numbed my feet. I began stumbling. Soon it became too much to bear. Weariness pervaded every sense, including common sense. There was just one thing left to do. I laid myself down to cry myself to sleep, snuggled in the soft white shroud nature so conveniently provided. Then a hand yanked my scarf away, grabbed my hair, and jerked my head up. Above me was a face tight-lipped with anger and fright. It was my cousin Sina. "Get up!" she screamed. "Get up!" And she began slapping me on the ears. "Get up!" The older children were clustered around. There was fear in their voices. Some of the young ones were crying. And finally, Herbert Lee hoisted me onto my tired little legs. Sina took my hand and got me walking again. She was 12, sweet-tempered, and filled with self-assured authority. I was in tears when we entered the warm kitchen. I knew I'd let everyone down, but Grandma Emma was as calm and good-hearted as ever. She just emptied her big wood-fired oven, and the house smelled of yeast and hot bread. I've never forgotten that comforting fragrance. No food was ever so sweet as those loaves Grandmother baked the day when I was 5 and nearly died.